I guess I'm still in shock and denial. Somebody said Robert Redford died while I was in makeup. Hollywood legends cry. Because the most gorgeous actor ever died amid Utah's mountains, a country mourns. Robert Redford, 89, died, and the tributes are beautiful. The lady who knew him best, Meryl Streep, is telling us something beautiful. Robert Redford passed how? What does Hollywood say about him? Discover how Meryl Streep stuns the world with emotional tribute. Life of a legend. News nearly broke the internet. Hollywood legend Robert Redford died at 89 at his Utah home. He was a sought-after industry leader. Robert Redford captivated us with Hollywood's most memorable characters for almost 50 years. Let's briefly review his legend. Charles Robert Redford Jr., a scrappy kid who stole hubcaps in high school, was born in Santa Monica, California, on August 18, 1936, to Standard Oil accountant Charles Robert Redford and Martha Redford. He lost his University of Colorado baseball scholarship for drinking. However, his high school caricaturist skills led him to actually pursue art. Redford spent a year traveling Europe, hitchhiking, living in youth hostels, and living the painter's life. Later, he realized his work was unimaginative and poor. Thus, he returned to New York to study theater design at Pratt. He then studied acting at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. He was famous by the end of 1960 after appearing in several Broadway productions, including Barefoot in the Park. TV and theater experience plus his all-American good looks led to movies and a breakthrough part in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid at 33. The Way We Were in The Sting, both in 1973, made Redford a box office powerhouse for 3 years. Not at college, he didn't help Spain. An isolationist Congress. He built a ranch and Sundance ski resort in Utah using his wealth and influence to promote environmental causes. Redford directed his first film, Ordinary People, and earned his first Oscar. Indeed, his legacy beyond Hollywood. He founded the Sundance Institute for Aspiring Filmmakers in 1980. Its yearly film festival is world-renowned. 8 years passed before he returned to filming. The Milagro Beanfield War, John Nichols' Southwest novel, will be adapted into a film. The 1992 Brad Pitt picture A River Runs Through It and the 1994 quiz show, which won him another Best Director nomination, impressed reviewers and fans. Robert dedicated his life giving us something to remember. Discuss what makes Robert Redford special. Sundance legacy. He was stunning. Sure, he was talented. His vision for independent film distinguished him. After winning the Oscar for Ordinary People, Redford launched the Sundance Institute in 1980. Quentin Tarantino, Steven Soderbergh, Paul Thomas Anderson, and Darren Aronofsky launched their careers at the festival. Consider that. Tarantino, Soderbergh, Anderson. Robert Redford believed in autonomous voices, which launched these directors that shaped modern cinema. In 2018, he notably told the Associated Press that independence is his priority. Always trusted that word. That's dumb and risky. Tell me what to do. Wait and keep quiet since it's dangerous? It's wasteful. I wanted to create a category for independent artists that weren't heard because of that. I was part of the mainstream, which dominated the industry. However, I spotted other tales that were being overlooked. I thought, maybe I can dedicate my energy to giving them a shot. I feel comfortable about that now. Many women had crushes on Robert Redford, not just the handsome man, but the man with vision, ethics, and the bravery to utilize his reputation for good. By 2025, the Sundance Festival had outgrown Park City and moved to Boulder, Colorado. Redford stated that is inevitable. Evolution and growth are essential to human survival. Even at 89, as he prepared for his final chapter, I answered, yeah, I can do that, but I prefer the Sundance Kid. Redford contemplated growth and change. That's the man everyone knew, always going forward and seeking new challenges. Older actor Redford reunited with Jane Fonda in 2017 Netflix film Our Souls at Night. Next year, he starred in The Old Man and the Gun. He says his last film was at 82. Still, he wasn't retiring. Retirement implies stopping or quitting for me. Sunday morning in 2018, he told CBS there's life to live. Why not live it fully and long? The philosophy. Live life fully and long. This made his friendship with some people extremely strong. They knew that art, connection, and shared work can survive forever. Redford understands outlining. Personal life is less than you imagine. My life and losses. In some ways, Redford's 40s and 50s California boyhood was ordinary. He played tennis, football, and track and field, but baseball was his specialty. Beyond athletics, he enjoyed Greek mythology and Sunday comics, but he had particular challenges. He survived a slight episode of polio at 11, and his twin sisters died soon after birth. Redford later said his family handled their deaths like any other hardship by not talking about it. In 2018, he told NPR's Fresh Air, "You don't ask for anything, you take it all, and you do it gracefully. When my mom went through it, no one talked about it. Everyone went on." In 1958, Redford married Lola Van Vaganen and started a family in the U.S. after a year and a half overseas. The couple was pleased to have Scott in September the following year. However, SIDS killed the youngster within months. Their lives were only beginning, Redford said. New York was his career debut. Traumatic and how it plays out over time. He didn't know they had to solve it. Redford has entertained audiences on both sides of the camera with engaging films that explore. One had to go on, although he agreed that it's traumatic, especially when one is young and unprepared. Redford, 21, embraced his new acting love. The couple had 3 more children, Shauna, Jamie, and Amy, between 1960 and 1970. Sid Wells, his daughter Shauna's lover, was shot and killed in 1983. Redford, Robert Duvall, and Glenn Close were filming The Natural, a baseball film. The Mirror said that he delayed production to attend Sid's burial. His son Jamie has primary sclerosing cholangitis, a liver and bile duct illness. He had 2 liver transplants in 1993. The second, the Salt Lake Tribune reported, because the replacement liver valve was defective. To console his son, Redford offered Jamie a screenwriting job. Jamie subsequently remarked that his father knew he was at his lowest and had few people to lean on, so he gave him this hope sign. He recovered and worked with his father for years until dying of bile duct cancer in October 2020. Jamie's death was another personal blow for the Hollywood icon. To give me one, he said he'd always isolated himself from the private. His life wasn't owed to the public, he believed. Performance? Yes. But his life? No. No doubt, Redford's personal tragedies fueled his great performances, as he could portray so much passion on screen with few words. Redford lived long despite his losses. His departure was inevitable, but it wasn't expected. When it did. Death in Tribute's September 16, 2025 was tragic. The day Hollywood lost a legend. At his Utah mountain home in Sundance, Robert Redford died surrounded by loved ones. Hollywood is mourning with the death of the classical legend. When Redford's death broke out, mourning was evident. So what's making folks emotional? Is more than the deaths or the outpouring of Hollywood tributes. The tributes are amazing, each more devastating than the last. Barbra Streisand called him engaging, brilliant, intense, always interesting, and one of the best actors ever. He won't take anyone back, says Jane Fonda, who worked with Redford. Intends to conclude. Says Redford is just gorgeous. She said she was devastated when I read Robert had died. She cried non-stop. She said Robert was attractive and important. He represented an America they must defend. They became close friends after co-starring in several films. Redford made his film debut in 1960's Tall Story as a supporting character. Fonda has said she falls in love with him every time they work together. After Redford's death, James Gunn posted a tribute on Instagram. Superman director remarked that Redford's flicks, quiet, natural performances, and grace shaped him. The movie star will be missed. He listed his top 10 Redford movie. Beyond the Sting, Butch Cassidy, and the Sundance Kid, The Candidate, Barefoot in the Park, and The Natural. Antonio Banderas considers Redford a cinema legend in every way in a tribute on X. He believes Redford's talent will live on in the films and in his memories. Even politics reacts. President Donald Trump told reporters before his UK visit that Robert Redford had a stretch of years where nobody was better. Despite political divisions, Redford's talent shone. He shared Utah with the world through Sundance and conservation, wrote Utah Governor Spencer Cox. Today, we honor his life, vision, and lasting impact on our state. The legacy endures. Meryl Streep honors her Out of Africa co-star by remarking, "One of the lions has passed. My dear friend, rest." That grabbed notice. Meryl Streep calling you a lion means you've made an impression. She has honored him throughout the years with love and respect beyond Hollywood standards. What's most striking about these tributes is how they emphasize on Redford's effect, not just his looks or popularity. Careers he started, stories he told. Real stardom is using one's platform to help others. Meryl Streep knew that about him early on. She saw past the golden hair and flawless jaw to the man who wanted to make meaningful films, promote independent voices, and utilize his fame to help others. The picture, directed by Sidney Pollack, is a career highlight. Robert Redford. Pollack, the son of Jewish immigrants, directed 7 of Redford's 21 films. Even his collaborators reflected his values. He collaborated with Sidney Pollack 7 times because he trusted him and shared a vision. Robert Redford was magnificent because of that. His loyalty, ideals, and dedication to excellence, not just his looks. That's why Meryl Streep's tributes were so touching. Over time, she saw it all in him. Look at their connection to see why Meryl Streep is worried. After the superstar died, it looks that the Oscar winner will have a very un-Hollywood funeral. The Hollywood celebrity requested a private, family-only funeral, and his representative confirmed it. No red carpets, cameras, or Hollywood circus. The family wants seclusion. The site said Redford's wife, Sybil, daughters Shauna and Amy, and 7 grandchildren will assemble in the Utah mountains for a quiet funeral. This follows Paul Newman's family's homage to Redford after his passing. The family wishes seclusion for the funeral, but everyone knows the memorial services will be special. Why not? This man impacted the whole entertainment business. The performers, directors, and causes he championed. All will want to say goodbye. Naturally, Meryl Streep will attend. How could she not? The Out of Africa co-star who noticed his depth while others sought his beauty and kept a friendship with him for over 40 years. She'll honor the man who helped make one of cinema's greatest love stories. Return to 1985. The Robert Redford-Meryl Streep combo is one of the most memorable and natural in movies. Sidney Pollack's epic love drama Out of Africa showcased their partnership. In The Soul's Code by James Hillman, he discusses the acorn, something you were intended to accomplish or be. Redford, a Hollywood icon, and Streep, at her artistic peak, harmonized their distinct energy on film. Naturally, Redford added his charisma and understated strength and intensity. He could say a lot with a glance, pause, or gesture. However, Streep's portrayal was thoughtful, emotional, and multifaceted. She often explores her character's psychology. These different approaches formed a magnetic equilibrium that drew viewers. Their subtle, believable chemistry made their bond even more intriguing. Meryl Streep discussed her Out of Africa sequence with Robert Redford, where he tenderly cleaned her hair, during a Q&A. Streep played a Danish baroness who falls in love with Redford's big game hunter while overseeing a coffee plantation in colonial South Africa in the epic romance tale. I was curious why 2 Watergate suspects had your name and phone number in their address books. The film's highlight is Redford carefully washing Streep's hair beside a river while reciting the rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. Unfortunately, Redford was not a good hairstylist during the shampoo sequence. Streep said. She said her longtime hair and makeup artist, Roy Helen, took Redford aside to give him some tips. Worked somehow. Redford took the lesson and absorbed it. He was fantastic. Streep said she was in love by take 5. They also respected each other professionally off-screen. Redford liked Streep's craft. Streep praised Redford's effortless ease without overdoing it. Respect led to honesty in their on-screen interaction. Their combination is still considered as an example of how 2 superstar performers can make a love tale ageless. Instead of superficial Hollywood chemistry, Redford and Streep delivered depth, restraint, and dignity. Their work resonated for decades. What did the legend leave behind? True legacy. Today, the entertainment industry is mourning and reactions are coming from everywhere. Mr. Redford, your legacy will remain for generations, Oman Domingo wrote with love and devotion. RIP. Ronnie Howard wrote NYBD. A prominent cultural personality for his acting, producing, and directing choices and for founding the Sundance Film Festival, which sparked America's independent film scene, artistic game-changer. The death of Robert Redford, a co-worker, visionary friend, idol, and great artist, shocked Kenneth Cole. His work at Sundance.org helped many artists and audiences find their voices. Their tales. His legacy has influenced me and others for decades and will continue. Few actors had Redford's star power in the 1970s, thanks to his disheveled blonde hair, granite jaw, and million-dollar smile. Redford used his popularity to challenge the status quo while pushing his artistic agenda through environmental advocacy, anti-establishment cinema, and pioneering indie filmmaking platforms. Robert Redford, like Gary Cooper, Gregory Peck, and Steve McQueen, never had a wide range as an actor, but few could match him as a cinematic star in his heyday. Barbra Streisand saw that in him. Depth and beauty beneath the surface. He could stand up to Paul Newman, who could carry All the President's Men. Who could helm Oscar-winning pictures like Ordinary People. Redford starred in 16 films between 1969 and 1980, several of which capitalized on his cinematic presence. Brubaker, Downhill Racer, The Hot Rock, Jeremiah Johnson, The Candidate, The Way We Were with Barbra Streisand, The Great Gatsby, The Great Waldo Pepper, 3 Days of the Condor, and The Electric Horseman with Jane Fonda. Few saw that Robert Redford. She was playful, enjoyed to laugh, and valued others' energy and spirit. Streep drew it out in him, and he brought out her vulnerability. Their professional connection was remarkable because of mutual respect and affection. That's rarer than you think in Hollywood. Too many partnerships are about ego, who gets the spotlight, and who shines brighter. His wife, Sayable Seghers Redford, and children, Shauna Schaller and Amy August, survive him. The Conspirator and Lions for Lambs, depicting American culpability in Afghanistan, were his last 3 films. Which addressed kangaroo court justice after the Lincoln assassination, continued Redford's political drama. He pushed limits and asked uncomfortable questions in his final movie. He gave a primitive, nearly wordless performance in J.C. Shander's All Is Lost, about a man trapped at sea, missed an Oscar nomination. The film feels prophetic now. You did. And then I waited. After 2 years, I got the money to build my own house. A man alone in the unknown, surviving on his strength and determination. Redford was a sex icon in the 1970s. BBC News labeled his appeal all-American good looks that couldn't be ignored. The Associated Press reported that Redford's wavy blonde hair and boyish grin made him the most sought-after leading man at the height of his career. Redford denied being a sex symbol. Redford told the New York Times that he never considered himself glamorous, handsome, or in any way a symbol. This image appears suddenly. A glamorous image might be a handicap, he said. After Redford's death, Variety wrote, became a godfather for independent film as founder of the Sundance Film Institute, that, as a movie star in his prime, few could touch him. Andrew Pulver of The Guardian called him a giant of American cinema, and one of the defining movie stars of the 1970s, crossing with ease between the Hollywood New Wave and the mainstream film industry. French culture minister Rakita Dedi called him an American cinema legend. As Sundance Film Festival founder, he is considered the godfather of indie cinema. Redford wanted his films to have cultural weight, so he depicted important issues like corruption and grief that resonated with the audience, according to the New York Times. Redford took chances by investigating dark and difficult subject. The Hollywood Reporter called him Hollywood's golden kid and one of the 50 decades most iconic cinematic characters. James Hillman's The Soul's Code discusses the acorn, something you were destined to do or be. Ron Howard called Redford a cultural icon and artistic game-changer. Sundance Film Festival was his contribution to independent filmmaking. The Salt Lake Tribune dubbed Redford's Sundance Film Festival a spark for independent film after he received the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2016. Time called Redford a staunch environmentalist who wanted a habitable world, saying that the Redford Foundation supported green filmmaking. Fox News remembered Redford as a Hollywood star who championed the American Southwest and the environmental movement. In 2016, Obama declared Redford a leading conservationist of our time. While Hollywood mourns Robert Redford, his true legacy was the feelings he generated, the ambitions he promoted, and the independent voices he amplified through Sundance. He proved that beauty with content is magnificent and that popularity with purpose can transform the world. Through it all, Meryl Streep recognized his worth, celebrated his talent, and maintained their friendship for decades. She didn't merely say beautiful tributes to him throughout the years. They were beautiful because they showed love and respect. Will Hollywood honor the family's funeral privacy? Tell us in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video you'll like.